So today what I'm going to talk about is why I decided to make these vlogs and start a YouTube channel and everything. Back in high school and then right out of high school, I used to watch a lot of YouTube, and I graduated back in 2008. So I used to watch a lot of YouTube, and then I just stopped. Probably about 2011-ish, I just stopped watching YouTube. I only watched it for trailers and things like that. And there were a couple people that I followed closely, and I just stopped watching them. I kind of wasn't sure what I was doing with my life for a while. I always knew I wanted to do something in film. In 6th grade, I decided that that is what I wanted to do when I grew up. It's always what I wanted to do, but didn't know how to get there. I didn't have any connections to it. I grew up in a fairly poor family, so I didn't really even have any equipment and stuff like that. And I've had a job since I was 15 years old, you know, working full time and everything. And before that, it was odd jobs before you could legally really get a job. So when I was 15, I got my first job, and it was in fast food. I worked at McDonald's. So I've always worked really hard, but you get dealt the cards you get dealt. I'm not upset about it. I'm not like envious of other people's situations. You just get dealt what you get dealt, and that is perfectly fine. In fact, I think it makes you stronger when you have to work really hard in your life. But I went through a period of time where I honestly just didn't know what I was going to do. I decided that the West Coast is where I wanted to go. My favorite thing about film is writing, and I absolutely love writing. I would love to make a career out of screenwriting and everything. And it's really hard to keep up with film in general when you are working 40 plus hours a week. We moved to, I talked a little bit about it, so I'm not going to really go into it, but we moved around on the West Coast for a while, and then in Portland I finally went back to school. And I went back to school for film, got an associate's degree, now I'm back here with my parents. I wasn't going to make this video because actually I should be writing right now. I have a web series and a couple other things I'm working on that in 2 weeks I go to see my best friend, and we're going to film some stuff, and I need to have the screenplays done for it so she can actually read her lines and memorize it and stuff. So it's all up here. I'm lacking the motivation to write, and it's very disheartening because that is what I absolutely love to do. It's a big stress relief for me, and I just have no drive right now to write. I have drive to do these vlogs, I have drive to edit, but I just don't have drive to write, and that's what I really love doing. It brought me back to my roots a little bit and what inspired me in the beginning. So what I even wanted to do on YouTube in the very beginning. And I remember channels like, I'm gonna butcher these names, Mika Kitty, Nanaloo, Tobuscus, but that was actually a little bit later that I got into him, Rhett and Link. There was just a lot of the earlier YouTubes, even Lonely Island and stuff like that. It made me want to do kind of like that sketch comedy stuff. I always found that so funny. And when we were in Arizona, my sister and I tried to, and a friend, we were doing a YouTube channel for a while, but then life, again, it's hard not to fall into a depressed funk, you know? But I decided that I need some direction in my life, because now that I'm done school, I could go further, but I just don't see the point at this point. I'm just so done with school. But I actually am enrolled in the fall because I just figured I should just go ahead and get a bachelor's degree. But part of me doesn't even want to do that because I just want to make film. You know, this is what I want to do for a living. And I'm not talking vlogging, I'm not talking being a YouTube sensation. I want to make content. I want to make movies is really what I want to do. Not even movies anymore. Television is making such great stuff. I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that world. It's hard to know how to get there, and in the meantime, you have to do something. You know, you can't just sit still and do nothing. I did that for a couple years, and it just is horrible. It feels horrible. And so I've decided that it's time to start getting my act together. So these vlogs are almost an experiment in learning how to talk to the camera, just playing with different ways of filming it and stuff like that in the meantime until I get something a little more substantial. I am doing some freelance stuff on the side, but that isn't the more creative stuff. You know, I want to make the creative content. I want to, like I said, I want to write, and I have some screenplays I've written. I just need to get the motivation to do a final draft, you know, get them out, try to enter contests and stuff like that. But it's just really hard to motivate yourself. Catching up with those YouTubers where they are now. And I have to say that it was a very eye-opening experience. I feel like anybody in an artistic field, we go through cycles. You know, we're up and down, and at one point in our life, this is something we find so important. This is our goal. This is what we want. And then it completely changes as you get older. order. And it was actually very motivating because I see these other people who I feel like are in my situation where they feel like they're trapped. They're trapped in the content they're making, and I want to break free of that. I want to be able to make the stuff I want to make, you know? I think the thing that has always come to play in my head is money. You know, money is everything, really. This web series I'm making on pretty much no budget, but that is because I have some awesome people in my life who are working for free. Essentially, I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have someone to score it, if I didn't have someone to edit it, I didn't have actors and stuff like that. The thing I hate the most about it is I have to act in it, at least for season 1. So this was a very random rant. It's just more, I really felt like I needed to do this vlog for me, because I've been getting a little trapped. I've been feeling like I'm crawling in my own skin a little bit, like something needs to happen. I need a change, you know. And yes, I just moved a month ago. So yeah, I can put on the brakes. I can slow down a little bit in my life, but I don't like sitting still. I don't like waiting. I'm the most impatient person, and I need to learn patience. But if there's anything my life has taught me so far, it's everything happens for a reason, and God is ultimately in control, and you know, it will all work out as long as I just keep praying, keep moving forward, because that's all you can do. You can't just, you're like, what's the alternative? So completely just ready for life to start. You know, I'm 26 years old. Life should have already started, is what I feel like, but it will. Things will get better. Things will progress. I just have to keep moving forward. I know it feels like in the moment that you're just working and you're working and you're working, and it's exhausting, and you're not seeing anything positive come from it, but it will. This is the first tattoo I ever got. My brother gave it to me on our living room floor. It says Que Sera Sera. Can't really see it that well, but I fully believe that whatever will be, will be. The future is not ours to see. Que Sera Sera. Yeah, Doris Day sings that way better than I ever could, so I'm not even gonna try. That is it. Thanks for putting up with my rant. I'm sure it was extremely annoying and I just sound like a little whiny baby, but I really needed to just get this out for me. And we all gotta do stuff that just makes us feel better sometimes. So that's really what this was. Yeah, so if you watch it the whole way through, good on you, and I will talk to all of you awesome people later.